welcome. This video is going to be a little bit different as to what I normally do, and that's because I want to talk about the fear of spiders. I got this idea because of my buddy Andy over at A.K.A Exotics. Andy would really like a tarantula. His son Andrew, however, is terrified of him. Well, was terrified of him. I believe, if I understand it correctly, it is getting better, and that's because Andrew has been watching YouTube videos about tarantulas together with his dad. And good job, Andrew, really, because the first step in conquering your fear of spiders is education. And now there's maybe not a whole lot of education in feeding videos, but you learn some. You see the behavior of the tarantula, in this case tarantulas, if you watch tarantula videos, of course. And that's a big step in conquering your fear. So kudos to you, man. Thumbs up. Keep doing that. It's really amazing that you do. So Andrew, good job. I've got a couple of things written down because it's like take 17. I've been doing it over and over and over, and every time I forget to say something. So I've got a couple of things written down that are really important for me to say in this video. So if you see me looking at my paper over here, it's not like I prepared the whole story, because I want to keep it spontaneous. I want to keep it real. But it's just a couple of things that are important that need to be said. So just some keywords, really. Yeah, the two most important steps to start conquering your fear is understanding fear. Now, no, I do not expect you to have conquered your fear after this video, and I really hope you're not expecting that, because that's not how it works. That's not going to happen. All I can do is give you a couple of pointers in how to start, and you have to do it yourself. There's nobody else can do it for you. It's your fear. You need to conquer it. I can't conquer your fear. Nobody can. You have to. But there's two very important steps in conquering fear. One is understanding the thing you fear. Somebody pretty wise once said, people fear what they don't understand. And it's true. So try to increase your knowledge, but don't try, just do it. I mean, trying doesn't get you anywhere. You have to do it. Increase your knowledge about spiders in this case. But it kind of counts for almost every fear, but we're talking about the fear of spiders, of course. So increase your knowledge about spiders. That will help you so much, because when you understand the spider, why it does what it does, it will make it easier for you to place it in the right context of what the animal is doing. And the second important step is to educate yourself about your fear. Now, if you have a fear of spiders, educate yourself in the fear of spiders, but also in the part that is the reason why you fear them. Is it because you're afraid to get bit? Is it the hairy legs? Is it the web that is sticky, that scares you? I don't know. I don't know what it is that people fear when they have a fear of spiders. And I think that it is different from person to person. And so yeah, educate yourself about those things. And that's really the two biggest steps you can make. And it are also the first two steps you have to make. And I hope you guys, if you really want to get rid of your fear, if you really want to conquer it, you have to do those steps. So please keep that in mind. No, I'm no psychiatrist. But I do know fear. I've educated myself about fear itself because I was intrigued by fear. I was intrigued by what power it has over people, what it can do to people, um, and how it works. Because fear usually starts pretty small, and it grows in time. And so yeah, and I'm talking about the fear of spiders, otherwise known as arachnophobia, of course. But to me personally, there's a difference between arachnophobia and a fear of spiders because um, I know somebody. He's a friend of mine actually, and he is starting to come around, and he's been here yesterday even. While I have all the tarantulas, so that's really cool. But he really has arachnophobia. I mean, every time he walks into a different room, he scans all walls, every corner. He looks everywhere to see if there is no spider. And even then, he cannot completely relax because he knows there's somewhere hidden there is going to be a spider, because that's how it works. There's always a spider anywhere. Somewhere, I mean. That's arachnophobia to me. I mean, if you feel a fear because when you see a spider, um, of course, officially that's arachnophobia as well. But to me, that's just a fear of spiders. I mean, arachnophobia to me is really the extreme. Um, but that's just my personal opinion. You know, that isn't really an educated something. That's just what how I feel about it. Um, I need to look at my paper. Sorry. Uh, yeah, you have to understand that fear kind of acts like a poison, a slow working poison. Um, you once get that poison in you, and if you don't handle it, it will grow and grow and grow. And of course, most fears you get as a child. And as a child, you don't know. You get afraid of it, and that's it. You do not have the means nor the knowledge to conquer it, probably. So it grows and it gets stronger, 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 and it it's really hard to conquer a fear that's there for a long time, but it's doable. Um, Mainly because, and that's something very important you have to know about fear. Um, a fear of spiders is not a fear you're born with. Most fears people have is not a fear they are born with. You're only born with a couple of base fears, like a fear to fall, and that's a good fear to have because you have that fear, you have the reflex to put out your arms when you fall to catch yourself. So it's a good fear to have, but it's not a fear that dictates your life. It's just a fear that it's there, it's slumbering, and when you fall, it gives you the right reflex to do whatever it is you need to do to prevent really bad injuries. Actually, now the fear of spiders is something it gets imprinted on you, and usually when you're a kid, obviously, and it usually is like your parents or your siblings or your teacher, people like that, people that you trust, and they are afraid of something, and you take it. You make it your own fear, and that's something you have to understand. Nobody's born with a fear of spiders because there's not really a reason to be afraid of them. Now, it's easy for me to say that. I do realize that, okay? I do realize this for me. To me, it's very easy to say, you have no reason to be afraid of spiders. And that's why education is so important. That's why it's so important that you go learn about spiders, because then you will learn that you do not actually have a reason to be afraid of them. Because, if you're afraid to get bit, don't touch them. It sounds easy, I know. I don't want to sound like some cocky person, arrogant, like. But spiders are generally not aggressive. It's not like they will come after you. Um, Defensive, yes. Some of them are defensive. Defensive. Sorry, struggling with words. Some of them are very defensive. Um, if you watch my latest feeding video, part 2, and you click on the last timestamp in the description, it will take you right to my Phimicteris trichromatis. Now, I throw in a superworm in her enclosure, and she starts giving trap poses. She starts slapping, you know, and but that's defensive behavior, and she's the thing is, it's my fault. I throw in a worm, she gets startled, and she gets a defensive behavior, and all she is saying is, "Get the hell out of my house." Because that's what she's doing. She's defending her house. And let's be honest, if there's going to be a burglar, and you have a baseball bat or whatever it is that you have to your disposal, sorry, you will use that to bash in the burglar's head, right? I would. And that's kind of the same thing she's doing. You know, she's just letting know that whatever it is that is harassing her in her house, to back off, to get the hell out. That's it. That's defensive. If she would have been aggressive, she would have come out of the enclosure and after me, really. I mean, that's aggression. And what she is doing is she's just defending her house, and I would, and I think most people would, really. So that's also something that's very important to know, that spiders are not aggressive. And I have to look at my paper again. Oh, I kind of have covered everything that I had written down. So I do not want to make this video too long, because that might make it lose its the power of the words I'm telling you now, because it really is important that you start educating yourself if you want to conquer your fear of spiders. And it's the only way you can start about it, really, because there are some people that buy a tarantula because they want to get over their fear, because they want to conquer their fear, and that's good and might work, but I'm not sure if that would be a good first step. You know, I mean, it's better to first educate yourself about what a spider is, what it does, why it does what it does, and then maybe start get one. You know, that might be the better sequence to do it. I'm lost for the right word at the moment. I'm sorry. I've had a difficult day at work and I'm tired, but I really wanted to get this out there. Go read books about tarantulas, and I would suggest some tarantula keeper guides. You know, because you will learn a couple of things about tarantulas. Amongst them, how to keep them, but you will read about them, and reading about them gives you knowledge. I wouldn't suggest reading those scientific papers, because they are usually a bunch of difficult words thrown together, and you have to figure out what everything means, and it's not going to be a fun read. But yeah, get some books that are written for people in the hobby, to tell them, for giving pointers on how to care for their animals, or books written by hobbyists. I would suggest, for example, there's a blog by Tom's Big Spiders. This is Tom Moran who writes it. Go read on his blog. You know, go read some of his things. It will educate you. You will learn things, and that really is the most important thing. I know I've said it a couple of times already, but I can't say it enough, really. So I hope this so far has been a little bit helpful, as in to get you started. Right now I'm going to handle one of my tarantulas, and it's a Uatlas species rat, and she's not big, she's kind of small still, but I have to say I normally do not handle my tarantulas because they do not gain anything about it from it. It's not like they like to be handled. It's not like petting your dog or your cat, whatever. It's not. They do not gain anything from it. I do not really gain anything from it. I do not really like handling my tarantulas because handling your tarantula puts it in a danger. Because if it falls and the distance that it falls is too big, it could die. So that's why I do not really like it. I'm not 100% against it. I mean, if you like handling your tarantulas, that's good. Go ahead, it's your tarantula. It's just I personally do not really enjoy it, and I know my tarantulas do not really gain anything of it, so I do not really see the point of doing it myself. But a lot of new hobbyists do like to have a tarantula they can handle. And I do understand. So that's something you have to know. And but I'm going to handle the tarantula because I know that fear can make a little tiny spider look like a big monster. Because that's what fear does. That's how it works over time. First you're a little bit afraid. You get more and more afraid if you don't tackle it, and that fear will really make that tiny spider look like a giant monster, which makes you unable to enter that room or go to sleep if you know it's there somewhere. And that's why I'm going to handle the tarantula, just to show you that they aren't big bad monsters. Some of them are very defensive, like I just said. And don't get me wrong, I would never, ever attempt to handle that girl, that defensive one. Never. Just because I know that she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be disturbed. And I have to accept that. And to respect her wishes, so to speak. So that's it really. Fear is something you don't need to have with spiders. Respect them. Yeah. Have respect for them. Have respect for what they are telling you. If they're giving you threat pose, all they're saying, they're not saying, I'm gonna kill you. That's not what they're saying. If they're giving a threat pose, they're saying, back off. Leave me alone, please. In tarantula language, of course. So, okay, that's it. Let's get to the handling. Okay, so here we have my Uatlas species rat. Now, this is the one I'm going to handle. She's not a big tarantula, but she's a tarantula nonetheless. That's actually what I wanted to say. So I'm going to handle it. She usually walks around a bit. Now, always before you go to handle, and this is for everybody, of course, not only for people that are new. Before you're going to handle, always test her temperament. And now, like you see, she's not doing anything. Just to be sure, touch the front. No. Well, normally she is always walking around as soon as I touch her enclosure, so I'm not really sure why she isn't right now. But can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. Here she comes. And that's how I do it. Just make them crawl up the side and hold your hand there and they will crawl onto your hand. Most spiders, when they feel the touch of your hand, they will pull back. But the Uatlas don't seem to mind it as much as other species do. It's not like she likes to be handled. It's actually not like I like to handle it. But yeah, I'm doing it especially for you, Andrew, and for everybody else that has a fear of spiders, just to show you that they are not monsters. Because if you have a fear for something, it's usually because you don't understand it. And fear can make things, like a spider, seem like a monster to you. Well, they actually are just normal animals, like any other animal, each individual has his own character. Usually the Uatlas species rat are very, very docile, and in my opinion, one of the best beginner species, as long you keep in mind that they do have their fasting periods. Like this one, I got her about 2 months ago, I think, and she hasn't eaten for me once yet. But as you can see, her abdomen's pretty plump. She's been drinking, I saw it. I've seen her drink, so that's all cool. She will be fine, I'm sure of that. So, yeah, that was it really. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I really hope, Andrew and Andy, that this was a little bit helpful. That is a little bit of information you can work with to try and get over your fear. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit. Yeah. I'll let her go back into her enclosure. No? Okay. She's not going back into her enclosure, because that's the thing with you Atlas. Once they're out, they never want to go back in. But yeah, I hope it was a little bit helpful, and it changed your mind a little bit in the way that you think about them. And please like the video if you liked it. Let me know if there is any other thing I can do for anybody to help them if you have a fear of spiders. And see you guys later. Oh, if you're going to the reptile show in Hamm, Germany, and you recognize me from my videos, feel free to... Oh, sorry, little one. Feel free to come and say hello. I'm gonna close it off because she's want to come out again. Feel free to come over and say hello. I would like to meet a couple of you guys and girls, of course. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.